Okay, lights, camera, sound good? Let's go. My name is Elijah Frazier, and welcome back or to my YouTube. This time on this day, it's one of the better days in Cleveland. I'm in my driveway, I got my lawn chair, sun is out, like I'm cooling for real. Like it felt real good. You know, my kids are outside playing. Aiden and Liam are on their scooter. Aiden's like climbing in a tree or in a yard or something like that. But I'm telling Liam and Noah, I'm like, yo, be careful, like dragging her shoes all on the ground. I'm like, that's not how you stop the scooter. Like, you got to put your foot on the back part and do this and all this. And that parent instinct, I'm like, somebody is going to fall. I'm like, you have to stop taking that corner. Like, in our driveway goes right to the sidewalk, and they just go straight down it, and they just cut real sharp. And it's like, there's a way to take that turn. Like, don't take that turn like that, and you flying down, not even using your brake. And lo and behold, my middle son falls. And if anybody knows my middle son now, he loves attention when it's positive, but he does not love attention when it's not so good. So he's going around the corner and he falls, and he doesn't just cry. Like, there's a pure meltdown. It is like the world is ending. And but at this point, I'm still confident because I'm like, I'm Dad, I'm Superman. And if anybody knows me, you know, inspiration, motivation, make people feel good. I'm like, man, I am confident that I can calm dude down, and we about to be good. He about to be back on the scooter, and boom, you about to go. So I come over there, I'm like, oh, what's going on? He's like, oh, my hand and my arm and my leg and this and that. I'm like, don't worry about it. I'm like, let me see, let me check it out. I'm like, oh man, this ain't nothing. I'm like, oh, you just got a little dirt here, a little scratch. And I'm looking at the scar. And I wear glasses sometime. And I kind of pull my glasses down. I'm like, I saw it, but it was just too much for him. And I'm like, don't worry about it. But I'm still confident because I'm like, this is what I do. I make people feel better, so I don't have no worries about me being able to calm him down. So I'm like, don't worry about it, and it's not working. No, I don't like it. I don't want. And I'm like, bruh, like, you're good. Like, okay, how about this? You just earning your badges. You know, when you fall off, you know, a bike or something, the trick and the method is just to get back up and to go and this and that. He's like, no. I'm like, so what do you want to do? What do you want to do in this moment right now? Do you want to go back in the house? Do you not want to ride your scooter? Do you just want to go in the yard and play with your brother? Like, what do you know? I want to ride my scooter. I'm like, well, you got to stop crying right now. I see your scars. I see what's going on. I'm like, but you have to stop crying right now. I'm like, because you can't play like that. And honestly, don't nobody want to hear that. Don't nobody want to hear that. And he just won't stop. Like, I couldn't wrap my mind around, like, everything is good. I've held it. I've kissed your boo-boo. Like, we're good. And he just won't stop. And it dawned on me. I'm like, let me try this. Now, a few days prior to him hurting himself, I'm here. I'm in my recording studio. All these lights and tripods and stands and all. I'm moving it. And as I pick up one of the lights, the light on top was so heavy, and the screw that holds it up erect wasn't tight all the way. So when I picked it up, it pinched down on my hand and hit my finger, scratched my palm, like pinched the side of my hand. I got cuts and I'm bruised. Now, a few days earlier, that happened to me, and I was hurt. And I'm gonna be just honest, like, I had to put the light down. Like, hold on, this not, like, I just felt this for real. Like, this really hurts. So I do what I can. I wipe it up, I clean it up, I get home, put a Band-Aid on and things like that. And I thought to myself, let me show him I have scars too. I'm like, wait, look, Daddy has scars. Like, look at this. I was trying to do something at the studio the other day, and I hurt myself right here, and this was happening, this and that. And in that moment, something changed. When he saw that I had scars and I made mistakes too, his whole face and energy and shoulders, something just came over him, and it was almost as if The shame from his mistake left him because he saw that he wasn't alone in that moment. And it dawned on me again that he wasn't really upset at falling or hurting himself. He wasn't really upset at the scars or the bruises or even upset at the pain in that moment. His mind and his concern was on the shame that came with the scar. He wasn't worried about anything else because once I showed him my scars, so he looks at his scars, he's looking at mine, and then begins to inquire, begins to ask me, what happened? How did that happen? I was living so normal that up until that point, he didn't even know that I had scars. He didn't even know because I didn't carry shame from my mistakes. And I'm looking at it and his scars are minute, but they're there, and he's looking at mine, and I'm like, yeah, son, it's okay. Everybody makes mistakes. Everybody falls down. Everybody has scars. Everyone has been hurt or hurt themselves. And I realize that that's the way a lot of people live their lives. People are still carrying pain from scars that happened to them from their past, whether the scar or the hurt or the pain was their mistake or fault or not. Now, when I hurt myself, this is the crazy part. When I hurt myself, my immediate reaction and my immediate thought was to put a Band-Aid over my hand. It was to put to cover up my scars, to cover up my pain, and to hide them. And every day when I would shower or wash my hands, I had to uncover it and clean it and put another one back. But it seemed the longer that I had my scars covered up, the longer the pain stayed. And I'm like, wait a minute, I'm putting things, ointment, and I'm like, why isn't this going away? And when I uncovered my scars, when I exposed them, when I just let it be out, I knew that people would be able to see my scars, but it was almost like getting in the way. It wasn't healing. The more that I kept my scars covered up, they weren't healing. And no sooner than I started to let it air out and dry, I could see the scars getting smaller. I felt the pain actually going away. And it dawned on me that there are people who have been covering up their scars for so long, they haven't even allowed the pain to be relieved. They haven't even allowed the scars to be healed, because there are certain things, when the air hits the wound, it can dry up and it can pull out things that are not supposed to be there. But when you cover it up, it holds the pain in. It takes it longer to heal, depending on the scar, depending on the wound, the hurt and the pain. Sometimes you just got to air it out. But there was a story within my pain. There was a story within my scar. And there was nothing that was able to help my son in that moment but me sharing my pain and my scars from the mistakes that I've made on my behalf or that other people have made on my behalf. He wasn't trying to hear all the inspiration stuff. He wasn't trying to hear all of the motivation, all of the, it'll be all right. He knew. What he wanted to know in that moment was, do you understand the way that I feel? Do you understand how it feels to fall down in public? I don't know who saw me lose my job. I don't know who saw me go through my divorce. I don't know who saw me get evicted. I don't know who saw me make this mistake. I don't know who knows my story about the way that I was touched or sexually molested in the past. I don't know who knows. So my defense is to cover it up, not to let it out and leverage the pain of my story and turn it into a platform and set myself free and set somebody else free. I'm ashamed that if anyone finds out anything, so I'm just going to cover it up. Yeah, but if you don't let it go, it'll hurt. I don't care. I don't care if it hurts. I don't care if this never gets healed. I don't care if I never feel better. All I want is to make sure that nobody ever finds out about this scar, the wound. But the power in your story, in your scar, that can leverage hope, leverage freedom, leverage happiness, the power within your story that can set other people free, to take the shame out. Because there are people that are still walking around and carrying and believing the lies that the scar that's in their life is their fault. It wasn't my son's fault that he fell. Scooters are meant to be ridden. You're supposed to have fun when it's nice outside. You should be able to hop, skip. He didn't do anything wrong. But sometimes we make mistakes, and or mistakes are made on our behalf, and we exchange what's normal for shame and hold it and harbor it and never let it go. My question is this: what scar have you been hiding? What scar have you been covering up? What scar have you not released and shared your story to let people know that they're not alone, to let people know that everyone makes mistakes, to let everyone know that the mistake may have happened to you to remove the fear and pain of doing something greater? Because if you would have saw the way my son hopped back on the scooter, the confidence that he rode it. Some people don't do tricks. Some people don't reach for the stars or reach or try to become everything that they could be, because I might get hurt. I might fail. And worse, even worse, somebody may see my failure. I'm not infallible. I have to fall down. I have to make mistakes. So when I do, I'm going to make sure no one knows, because everybody else's life is perfect, right? There's no one else that has made mistakes. There's no one else that has fallen down. What I am telling you is that you do not deserve to feel the pain that you have been feeling all this time. I can guarantee you that if you release your story and you talk to people that you can trust, you know you should have been written that book. You know you should have believed in that dream or that goal or that vision. You know that there are people who are hiding their pain and their scars too, because they don't think there's anybody else out there like them. If I didn't share my story of homelessness, of depression, and everything else that I could name, I can only imagine the people that would not be set free. But I removed the shame from my scars. I removed the shame from my failures, from falling down. And I began to have pride in what it is I have been strong enough to make it through. If you are watching this video, I understand that you may have gone and been through something drastic, that there are things that you are ready and prepared to take to the grave. I understand that. But if you knew the people that you could set free, if you knew the people whose lives that you could change, life isn't happening on accident. Everything's not happening to you. Something's happened for you to get to where it is you truly. Every hurdle doesn't need to be jumped. Every hurdle doesn't need to, you don't, sometimes the hurdle is strategic so that you can step upon it and have a point of leverage and survey the whole playing field. Oh, I didn't see that before. Oh my gosh, if I would have just hopped over this and kept going, if I would have hid this hurdle, I would have never been. Use the hurdle as leverage. Use the hurdle to your advantage. And then get back down off the hurdle and act like you know nothing. How are you? Because I've been through something. Well, how did you? Because I've fallen down too. Man, you got all these scars. That's why I'm here. I would rather trust a person with beat up hands and dirty jeans than a person in a clean suit. Because the person that I see with scars, I know that you've been through something. And the fact that you are standing here in front of my face, I know that I can invest in you and I can trust you because I can see it. And it ain't got nothing to do with what it is you're telling me. Do not hide your scars. Uncover them and let the pain out. Uncover them and share your story. Uncover them so that there can be healing in your mind and in your heart. Uncover them so that people can hear and be inspired from how you fell down and how you were hurt. Because you can't get nothing if you ain't been through nothing. You can't accrue interest or leverage or invest if you have nothing to put in. Bring something to the table. Oh, you too? Well, I remember a time and there was this other time that's you. I am begging you. There is no shame in the scars and the hurt that has happened in your life. Uncover those scars. Release your story. Set other people's minds and hearts and souls free. Inspire them and let them know that this is not your demise. You are done walking around and believing the lies that your scars mean you have less value now. All of a sudden, clothes with rips and tears are fashionable and cost more. You can put value on anything you desire. So I encourage you to put value upon your story, upon your scars. Release them, open up, be healed in your mind, be healed in your heart and your relationships. Open up again and let people love you. You deserve to be loved. You deserve to have the freedom to love others. Do that now and allow your scars to be your success.